All right, coming in at last, we got the Zapple, and this is another stupid-ass wild mouse that's at every other park. I mean, nothing creative here. This wild mouse is a little bit better than some of the other ones at the other parks because it does have a pretty big drop right there. But, man, this ride's just fucking stupid. I mean, these rides are just everywhere. I mean, fuck, they're at fucking carnivals, and they're at carnivals at my fucking high school. Like, I don't know, these rides are just really fucking dumb. I mean, I would expect better for an amusement park like King's Dominion. Like, it's just stupid. The ride ahead is so much better. Ride that. Jesus Christ. Why would you be riding this? Why would you drive the whole way King's Dominion to ride this? Like, it makes no sense. It's just boring as shit. Dumb as fuck. Like, come on. Ride something better than this. Let's ride. I mean, it's just... Every time I see a ride at one of these parks, it just immediately goes right to last place. Like, no matter what else is there. Just because they're just so boring. I mean... There's no point at all these rides. I mean, no point whatsoever. Grrr, grrr, grrr. All right, coming in the second to last, we got the Grizzly. And man, this thing feels like you're being mauled by a bear. It is so fucking rough. Like, man, it just feels like a bear is just biting at your back, clawing you right in the face. Like, man, you'll come off of this ride feeling like that you got mauled by a bear in a car accident. Man, this ride is just rough as hell. I don't know how old this thing is. It's got to be like 70s or 80s because, man, it is rough. Like, man, you just bump all over the place. Your neck whips around like crazy. The seats are super small, so that doesn't help here. I mean, you can't even fit hardly two people in this unless if they're like fucking two-year-olds or something. If you're a normal-sized person, you'll take up the whole thing. Like, Jesus Christ, this ride, it's just rough as hell. Like, don't ride it. And it's so hard to find the entrance to it, too. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere. So, yeah, don't ride this. Ride pretty much anything else. I mean, I would almost say even ride the Wild Mouse. That's how bad it is. My Anaconda don't. My Anaconda don't. My Anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun. All right, next we got the Anaconda coming in at number 9. And, man, this thing is like the Grizzly, but it's made out of steel. It is rough as hell, the restraints. It's a headbanger. The inversions are really rough. It's just not very good whatsoever. I mean, the layout is just fucking dumb as hell. I mean, you do 2 loops, go on this brake run, and you just go slow as hell after this brake run. Like, you go 2 miles per hour. You go, like, 50 miles per hour for about 10 seconds. And then it just makes you go 2 miles per hour, and then you go for a couple corkscrews. Like, this ride, it's just fucking stupid. I heard rumors about being removed within the last couple years. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the name Anaconda, and I like the color scheme, but the ride itself is just shit. I actually have a picture of me on this ride, but, yeah, I don't have it with me, so I won't be showing up. This ride just, it fucking sucks. Shitty-ass ride. In the rebel yell, ma. I'm not real sure what he's saying there, but this is a Racer 75. It used to be called the Rebel Yell, but for some reason they fucking changed it, so now I can't sing the Rebel Yell going on this ride. Like, it's fucking stupid. But yeah, this ride is everything that the Grizzly isn't. It's not too rough. It's actually pretty fun. It's got some nice airtime on it. The only thing I don't really like about this ride is the layout is just so simple. Like, it's kind of a boring layout, to be honest, but it does give you some good airtime. And another thing I don't like about this ride is it hardly ever races. Like, I know it's racing right now, but every time I go to King's Dominion, it never fucking races. Like, they're always only running one train for some reason. I mean, I'd probably rank this thing a lot higher if it raced when I was there, but it never wants to race while I'm there. So overall, it's a pretty good ride. I mean, I would definitely ride going to King's Dominion. It's definitely worth the credit, and it's pretty fun. Decent ride overall. All right, next we got the Avalanche, and this ride is really, really fun, actually. I really enjoy it a lot. It's kind of a family roller coaster, but I just think it's so crazy how this thing can, like, stay on the track and it doesn't fall off. Like, that always amazes me how it can do that. Literally just stays right in the center of the track. Like, I always just thought that was really crazy that it was capable of doing that. Overall, this ride, it's just fun. I mean, this is, like, the only bobsled ride I've ever been on besides the one at Knoebels, but that one never runs half the time I'm there anyway, and this one's way better than one at Knoebels. Like, it's just a whole lot of fun. It's pretty smooth. The trains, you can only fit one person per row, so you don't have to sit with anybody. But if you do have a little kid, they can sit on your lap. And this thing, it's pretty fast, too. I mean, it feels like you fly on this thing. Like, it's just a good ride. And they have different countries on every train, which is All right, next we got the Backlot Stunt Coaster, and this thing is a whole lot of fun. It's really low to ground, it blasts off. It's probably my favorite family roller coaster I've ever ridden in my life, if this is considered a family roller coaster. I love the scenery. I love how it feels like you're in a movie. It feels like you're on a high-speed chase. This thing, it's just a lot of fun, to be honest. I mean, it's a really good ride. They have this same exact ride at Kings Island, so if you live closer to Ohio than Virginia, they have it at Kings Island. It's just a lot of fun. And I thought about ranking this higher, but I kind of kept it at number 6. I mean, I honestly thought about putting this thing at 4 or 5, but I kept it at 6 just because I think the ones above it I like a little bit better, but not a ton better. And the elements on this ride are just awesome. Like, this ride, my first one to King's Dominion, like, I was like, this ride, like, blew my mind. I did not expect it to be anywhere near as good as what it was. Whole lot of fun. Definitely ride. Woo! Blast off! Woohoo! Blast off! Woohoo! We're on the Flight of Fear. This thing, it reminds me, if you guys have ever been to Disney World, it reminds me a lot of Aerosmith, the roller coaster. Like, that's honestly what it reminds me of. It's in the dark, it blasts off, has a lot of cool looking lights in it. Like, it's overall just a good ride. This is another one where it's also at Kings Island, so if you're closer to Kings Island and you want to ride, go there instead. But, yeah, this ride, between this and Backlot Stunt Coaster and next ride, they were really, really close for me. Like, man, like, I could have put either one of them in either or, I felt like. That's how much I like them. But, this ride, it's a lot of fun. The lines on this thing get really long, though, for some reason. I don't know if it's because it has AC or what, but, man, like, I've waited, like, 2 hours to go on this ride before, which I think is crazy, because some of the bigger ones and better ones, like, are shorter lines. But overall, it's really fun. You do bang your head a little bit, but it's not too bad, and it's just fun. Really, really fun. Man, now we're getting into the really good roller coasters. Here we are at number 4. We got the Dominator. And, man, this thing, I do feel like it's a tad bit overrated. I mean, I know some people who have this as, like, number 2. And, I mean, I don't think they're crazy enough to put this thing at number 1. Let's be real. But I know people who have this thing at number 2. And, I mean, it is good, but it's definitely not as good as the top 3 for me, if I'm being honest with you. Like, the 3 above this are just better than this thing. But this thing, it's pretty smooth. It does bang your head a little bit, but not too bad. Kind of like the last roller coaster. Bangs a little, but not too bad. So you won't get banged too hard on this ride. I hope I didn't sound too wrong, but you won't get banged too hard on this ride, but just a little bit. But yeah, this ride, it's pretty fun. It's pretty good. I mean, I like the layout. It reminds me a lot of the Green Lantern at Six Flags Great Adventure, like the layout, but it is not nearly as rough, and you don't have to stand up, which is awesome. But yeah, this ride, it's just really, really decent. Alright, coming in at the 3rd spot, we got Twisted Timbers. And man, King's Dominion, they took a whole pile of fucking trash and made it into fucking gold. I mean, this ride is absolutely fantastic. This ride used to be called the Hurler, and after you got off it, you felt like you were going to hurl. It was so bad. Like, the Hurler, it probably would have been last place if it was still the Hurler, or close to last. It was so fucking rough. But man, this ride is so smooth. It's got great airtime. It's got great twists and turns. Like, this is a masterpiece right here. I mean, this is just a great ride. If you go Kings Dominion, ride this thing early, because the lines get really fucking long on it during the middle of the day, so ride it early. It's really fucking good. I mean, if this was at any other amusement park, it might honestly be number 1. But Kings Dominion, they got a lot of good rides, so I mean, it's still coming in a reasonable placement for this ride. It's definitely top 25 roller coasters I've ever ridden. Towards the bottom, but man, this next ride's gonna be a little bit controversial just because it doesn't stand at Kings Dominion anymore. This ride doesn't exist. It closed a couple years ago, but man, this ride was my fucking childhood. Like, if I didn't include this ride on this list, like, I would be disappointing myself. I absolutely love this ride. The launch is so fun. Best inverted roller coaster I've ever been on. This ride's just so fucking good. I about bawled my eyes out when I heard it was fucking closing. It's because I love this thing so much. Like, it's a must ride if you go Kings Dominion. Obviously, you can't ride it anymore, but anybody that got to ride this ride knows that this ride is fucking fantastic. There's nothing else like it. It's just a great ride, and I hope they replace it with something fucking insane. Gentlemen, start your engines! Come in at number 1, we got the Intimidator. Man, this ride is fucking insane. I mean, this is the only ride I've ever rode, but even though I rode it so many times, I always feel like I'm going to shit myself when I ride it. It's so fucking intense. Like, I've never been on a ride that's more intense than this. I don't know if I ever will. This ride is just fucking insane. Feels like you're driving the fucking Daytona 500. Like, man, this thing is fast, slow to the ground. It's got so many crazy twists like that. Like, this thing, you gotta ride. If you go to King's Dominion and you don't ride this, why'd you even go? Like, what was the point? This ride is just, it's a top 10 roller coaster in the world. I mean, even though I haven't rode all the roller coasters in the world, I know this thing would definitely be top 10.